We are often told to keep a huge pile of cash for emergencies, but while that $24,000 sits still, the market moves up without you. Is it safe?
Hey everyone, we always hear about the 6-month emergency fund rule. It sounds like a safety net, but today we are putting that traditional wisdom to the ultimate stress test.
Inflation is the silent thief. That same $24,000 buys less every single year. It is not just sitting there, it is actually shrinking in value while you sleep. Let us look at the data. We are running a full stress test on the 6-month rule to see if holding that much cash is helping or hurting your wealth. Is a 6-month cushion actually necessary for everyone? Or is it an outdated concept that is costing you thousands in potential gains? Let us break down the math together.
If you want to master your money, hit that like button and subscribe. We are diving deep into the numbers that the big banks do not usually talk about.
The standard rule is simple. Save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a liquid savings account before you even think about investing a single penny in the market.
This fund is your shield. It protects you from the unexpected, like losing your job or facing a massive car repair bill. It is there to provide peace of mind.
But there is a catch. While you are feeling safe, your money is losing its edge. There is a hidden cost to all that security that most people overlook. Most savings accounts pay almost nothing. With inflation at 3% and your bank paying 0.5, you are literally losing money every year your cash sits idle. Over 20 years, that $24,000 does not stay the same. Its purchasing power drops significantly. What buys a car today might only buy a scooter in 2 decades.
It is a constant trade-off between safety and cost. The more cash you hold, the more you pay in lost opportunities. Let us visualize the actual gap in growth.
To make this real, let us assume $24,000 covers 6 months of $4,000 monthly expenses, including your rent, groceries, and all your basic utility bills.
Now, we compare two paths. One path keeps the full amount in the bank. The other path invests a portion into a diversified index fund. Let us calculate.
Here is the breakdown over 5, 10, and 20 years. The difference between playing it safe and playing it smart might actually shock you. Look at these totals. 5 years in, your savings grew to $24,600. But that index fund, it hit over $38,000. You are already looking at a $14,000 gap in potential wealth. By year 10, the gap turns into a canyon. Your cash is sitting at $25,000, while the index fund has more than doubled to $62,000. The power of compounding is finally starting to roar.
Look at that gap. We are not talking about pocket change anymore. This is the price of keeping that cash safe in a bank account instead of letting it work in the market.
After 20 years, the results are staggering. Your cash is worth $26,000, but the index fund has exploded to over $161,000. The difference is absolutely life-changing.
But wait, we have to be honest. We need to look at these numbers in today's dollars. When we adjust for inflation, the picture changes, and it is even more eye-opening for cash savers.
In real terms, your $24,000 in cash actually lost $9,000 in buying power. Meanwhile, the index fund still gained $65,000. Safety actually cost you money. The full table shows the truth. Keeping a massive cash cushion isn't free. There is a specific price tag for that peace of mind, and over 20 years, that price is huge.
It is a heavy trade-off. You are balancing your current peace of mind against an opportunity cost of nearly $75,000. Is that feeling of safety really worth 75 grand?
But before you go emptying your bank account, we have to talk about why this advice exists in the first place. There are very real psychological reasons for the 6-month rule. Financial advice isn't just about math, it's about human psychology. We need to understand why our brains are wired to choose the safe path, even when the math says otherwise.
It comes down to loss aversion. We feel the pain of losing a dollar twice as much as we feel the joy of gaining one. Our brains prioritize avoiding a crash over finding growth.
The fear is that a market crash often happens at the exact same time people lose their jobs. That double whammy is what the 6-month cushion is designed to prevent. Plus, for financial pros, safe advice is easy. If they tell you to keep cash and the market crashes, you won't blame them. It is a shield against complaints and liability.
So the umbrella protects you from the rain, but it doesn't stop you from missing out on the sun. You're safe, but you're also staying stagnant while the world moves forward. Okay, so the old rule is expensive, but we still need a safety net. Let's look at a better way to build what I call the smart cushion.
Now, let's build your smart cushion. We're breaking this down into 5 simple, actionable steps to move you from stagnant cash to a growing, secure future. Here is the roadmap. Step 1. Keep just 1 to 2 months of expenses in a standard savings account. This is your immediate oops fund, completely liquid, locked in, and ready for any instant emergency.
Step 2. Put the rest into low-risk, liquid investments. Think money market funds or short-term bonds. You get a shield of safety, but your money actually starts breathing and growing.
Step 3. Size your fund to your life. A dual-income household might only need a smaller cushion, while a freelancer needs a larger one. Don't use a one-size-fits-all rule. Step 4. Rebalance annually. Once a year, check if your cash jar is too full or too empty compared to your investments. Adjust the flow to keep your strategy perfectly aligned.
Step 5. Only keep what's necessary. Once these layers are set, you're done. You've maximized your growth while staying protected. No more letting your hard-earned wealth just sit there and rot.
Let's look at the finish line. Person A follows the old rule, keeping $24,000 in a frozen piggy bank for 20 years. It feels safe, but it's actually standing still.
Person B uses the smart cushion. They keep a small cash jar for emergencies but put the rest to work. Watch how that investment side starts to pull away over time.
The result? After inflation, Person A is left with $14,700 in real value. Person B has $67,600. That's a massive $50,000 gap in purchasing power. And remember, Person B was never at risk. That small, glowing cash jar was always there, ready for an emergency. They just didn't sacrifice their entire future for a false sense of security.
Now, a quick reality check. If your job is unstable or you're in a volatile industry, leaning toward more cash is perfectly okay. Safety is personal, so adjust these levels to your comfort.
To recap, lock in your immediate cash, shield the rest with low-risk growth, scale it to your specific life, and keep it all on a calendar for a yearly checkup. Simple, right?
What does your emergency fund look like? Are you sticking to the old 6-month rule, or are you trying something new? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.